Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Weekly Oscar Talk number 13. I'm joined as always by Anthony.
Hi everyone, ready to talk about this
Yeah,
crazy week in award
we have
season.
a lot to talk about. Yeah, especially the SAG Awards. It's insane. In general, I've been looking over the past few years of SAG, and even further. If you look at pretty much almost every category, there is at least one actor who gets nominated who does not carry over to the Oscars almost every year. Besides, I think there's only like one, which was lead actor last year. They got the same five as the Oscars. Um, so just keep in mind with some of this insanity, a lot of it probably won't carry over to the Oscars. But starting off with female actor in a supporting role, nominated was Katrina Balfe, Kate Blanchett, Ariana DeBose, Kirsten Dunst, and Ruth Negga. The big snub here is, of course, Anjanou Ellis for King Richard. What'd you think about this?
This was one of the categories where, although I was surprised, uh, it wasn't a huge disappointment. I feel, or a gross miscalculation because I feel like Kate Blanchett is the surprise here, and she is quite good in Nightmare Alley. I think her and Bradley Cooper and Rooney Mara definitely the performances I feel were the best part of the film, and so I feel that Kate Blanchett, especially after her being in Don't Look Up and this, which even though I'm not a fan of Don't Look Up, I still think that for many she had a great year, and I'm not surprised she got in. I am surprised that Anjanou Ellis was the one to be taken out. However, she isn't as big a name. Like we saw in 2018, Yalitza Aparicio didn't get in because she wasn't an actor, so she's not a well-known name per se. So that could potentially be it. Maybe Anjanou Ellis wasn't as big a name, but and the other thing too is I believe Anjanou Ellis is nominated with the ensemble
He
of
is, yeah.
King Richard. So she still is nominated. She just wasn't isolated. It is surprising. I would have maybe expected um, Ruth Nega to miss. I feel like she has been the one that is the most on edge, but people really do appreciate her and they really like her. I mean, the fact that she got in for Loving up against Amy Adams for Arrival, she was able to pull that off. So I think we're going to see the same thing this year, where people just really respect her performance. They really respect her. The acting community seems to love her, and so yeah, I'm fine with this category. The fact Kirsten Dunst and Ariana DeBose are still in here, so we're good. We're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Yeah, this didn't change my Oscar predictions at all. I still think you can take Blanchett out and put in Anjanou Ellis for the Oscars.
Yeah.
I don't think Blanchett's going to carry over. I do think I've always had Ruth Negga as my number five, but lots of people like have had that fifth spot very open. I do think this kind of cements her as definitely that fifth spot, and not on the outside.
Yeah, I think that with the Golden Globe nom, with I believe a Critics' Choice nomination for Ruth
Yeah, I
Negga,
believe so.
and then now this, I feel like this isn't, for example, we'll talk about Jared Leto. This
Oh
is not
God,
a
yeah.
Jared Leto in the little things where he pops up here and there, but then doesn't get the Oscar. I think it's the type of performance that does get a nomination. She's great in the film.
Mm,
And I think it's a way to nominate passing, which I think is not going to get really any love anywhere else, unfortunately.
no, sadly not. Sadly not. So supporting actress wasn't too insane. Speaking of insanity, let's go to supporting actor, where we've got Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar, Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza, Troy Kotzer for Coda, Jared Leto for House of Gucci, and Cody Smith McPhee for The Power of the Dog. Um, I mean, I think the big surprises here for me personally were Affleck and Cooper. I did expect Jared Leto to get in because he got in for stuff like Little Things. Um, Ben Affleck also got nominated at the Golden Globe, so I do think he's probably fighting for that top five at the Oscars. Bradley Cooper, I don't think is going to carry over to the Oscars, but maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I see this more as Cooper and Affleck getting in there because for some reason they didn't nominate the Belfast Boys, which I
Yeah,
wonder if that's what maybe they were voting for. Like certain people, they're like, well, you're getting an ensemble nom, so that's enough.
maybe. Yeah.
Um, Maybe to try and get more people in, because of course, Bradley Cooper and Ben Affleck would not have been nominated on ensemble, neither would Kate Blanchett. So
Mhm.
maybe that's what the voters are thinking. Like we can nominate more people and nominate these performances,
But
which
also
I
they
haven't
could
seen the time. Yeah, I haven't seen The Tender Bar. I have seen Licorice Pizza, and that is a deserving performance. I mean, he just comes in and it's just such a ball of energy, Bradley Cooper. So, uh, yeah, I'm not surprised by Jared Leto because,
No.
listen, there's nobody else like him. And I think for certain actors, I think they find him very appealing in terms of the risks he takes. He's a very risky performer. And the whole point of being if it's a divisive performance, that must mean that some people are divisive against saying that he's good. Some
Mhm.
people must say that he's good. So again, I'm not surprised that he keeps getting nominated. I don't think he should. But yeah, at this point, I don't think you should be surprised when he gets a supporting actor nomination at the Oscars.
Yeah, I still don't have him getting in at the Oscars. That's just me hope predicting it. He's probably my number
There's a lot of
six.
hope predicting this year.
It is, yeah. I'm just House of Gucci did very well today, and I'm just I don't know. Yeah, I think the other three, Troy Kotzer is definitely getting in. Cody Smith McPhee's. We'll talk about the Globes, but the front runner, I guess.
Yeah,
Oddly enough.
which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, I mean, it does not seem like a person in a performance who would win like at all.
Yeah, but you got to remember, and we've mentioned this, I think, a couple of shows ago, but we're in a supporting actor field where we're generally dealing with supporting performances. Like,
Yeah,
usually Cody Smith McPhee wouldn't win because he would be going up against a lead performance in this category, like a Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Mahershala Ali in Green Book. So I think the reason why he is doing so well, and why I agree he is the front runner, and he will probably win this, I think, is because it's it's a genuine supporting performance that supports the movie. And I think despite Power of the Dog not getting a best ensemble, I don't think that speaks ill of the film because it got Dunst, it got Cumberbatch, it got Cody Smith
it's
McPhee.
like
There's
Marriage Story.
like Marriage Story, like La La Land. It got the people
Yeah,
in. It doesn't need ensemble. I don't think this is. I think even Shape of Water, like it got in Hawkins, I believe,
I
and
forget. Yeah,
probably Spencer and probably Jenkins. Somebody can correct us in the comments, but like again, we see this happen. A movie doesn't necessarily need ensemble if it gets in all the people, and I think this was an example of that. So yeah, I'm very happy for him. The fact that he's not in, his biggest credit before this was what, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I think he's winning these awards solely based on the merits of the performance, which I feel like we don't often see a lot of times. We usually see narratives grow, and this is genuinely for the performance. So I'm very happy for him.
I don't see what's, at least personally, what's so special about the performance. It's at least what's special enough for people to vote for it to win because it's not very showy. It's very subtle. He doesn't have like any. He's very emotionless for a lot of the movie. Doesn't have
Which
like any
takes a
big
talent. I
clips.
think it's very easy, not to discredit like somebody like Anjanou Ellis, but I think
Yeah,
it's very easy to like go out and do the scene she does where she yells at Will Smith. Like that's like it's showy and it makes an impact, but in terms of the craft of acting, that's fairly easy to accomplish. His work is a lot more internal. He has to say a lot more with less time as a supporting performance, and he's able to work with Cumberbatch and Dunst both effectively. He's one of the few that works with everybody. So, and I also think it's a way
yeah,
to give a win to this film where the other acting categories probably won't go their way.
yeah. I wouldn't say what Anj Ellis has to do in that scene was easy per se, but it
Just
is a little.
when you're
It's
given that
different.
script, it's just like it's not. I think that there are different types of performances,
They are.
and we rarely see the Cody Smith McPhee ones win. So
Yeah,
maybe
which
this
is
is
why
just
it's
one
surprising.
where, yeah, I think it's more surprising internal work.
I also need to rewatch the movie too, so I'll have to do that. Okay, so now moving on to outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. Insanity here. Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter, Lady Gaga, House of Gucci, Jennifer Hudson for Respect, and Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. Obviously, the big snub here is Kristen Stewart. I mean, wow. I guess maybe I knew Spencer was a divisive film, but I didn't think it would be like this divisive. I mean, do you think enough people have even seen it? Like, do you think most of the SAG didn't see
Yeah,
it?
I think it's a low priority screener because
Yeah.
it's only for her. And so I think a lot of
Mhm.
people are more interested in more. there are more popular movies. Don't Look Up is very showy and in the news right now. um, there's just more movies that people are seeing, and Spencer, I just don't think this community body did see. Neon might not have pushed it as much as they maybe needed to. um, yeah, I'm shocked that she didn't get in, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I see this as a Regina King situation. I don't think this means that she won't get nominated. I do think that this very much hurts her, as I've been saying. I don't think she's the front runner to win.
No, it's Coleman. I've been saying it.
I think it's Coleman though, but we'll talk about the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, Kidman.
Kidman may be coming up from
Right.
behind, which would be really surprising. Also, I mean, don't discount Jessica Chastain. She may be
Yeah,
the Julianne Moore and Still Alice. Like, we've passed you up so often that now this is just the time when the competition is a little underwhelming. So she
definitely.
may still go ahead. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I do think take out Jennifer Hudson and put in Kristen Stewart, and that's your five
Yeah,
for the Academy.
yeah, definitely agree with that. Yeah, in terms of winners, I do. It's Chastain, Coleman, and Kidman. I would say mostly for me, Coleman or Kidman. Um, Kidman, I guess, could
Coleman's
be like a Judy-esque win, which I also didn't think was worthy of a second Oscar for Renee Zellweger, but it still happened.
That was, I think, I mean, it's a great performance, Renee Zellweger and Judy, but that was also because the narrative of Renee
Hmm.
Zellweger and her treatment in Hollywood
Yeah,
likening to that of Judy Garland. It definitely was, but it's still, I think it was a worthy win. Um, Even though I think Lupita Nyong'o for us should have been in
he
the
deserved it.
category.
Yeah,
And in my perfect world, Scarlett Johansson would have won one of her
yeah,
categories. It was a great year. That was a great year for Saoirse Ronan. Little Women was great.
yeah,
But as far as Olivia Colman, this is my headcanon. If Cody Smith McPhee is the front runner, I don't know if two subtle, nuanced performances are winning, and hers is definitely not showing. I think she yells at a group of uh, like boys in a movie theater, and
yeah.
that's her only yelling scene.
Mhm.
So I may be. I need to see is if because I feel like Isa Tammy Faye and Being the Ricardos are very well, like very similarly critically received. So I have to see whether it may end up being a situation like Bohemian Rhapsody where people just loved Freddie Mercury, and that's why Rami Malek was able to succeed against like Dick Cheney with Christian Bale and Vice.
Yeah.
And people may just love Lucille Ball, and that's what helps Nicole Kidman win this award because they
Hmm.
just want to relive their childhoods or their time with the show that they just cherish. So Nicole Kidman might actually end up becoming the front
Yeah.
runner.
She has also in interviews been likening her career to Lucille Ball's, how she said like TV has helped boost her career like it did Lucille. And
Yeah.
I don't think Lucille Ball has an Oscar, so it also could be like let's
No.
give it for Lucille kind of thing like they did with Judy. So she's definitely high up there. But I do think also I would say last year there were kind of two subtle performances. That one with McDormand and Yu Jung Yoon were both I would say more on the subtle
True, but it
side.
was a more subtle year. I feel because of the
It
pandemic,
was.
everything was more subdued. I mean, look at the
It was, yeah.
ceremony.
I'm just
But that is
hoping.
true. Sometimes they do, but I feel like I don't know. I would be surprised because we have so many showy performances. Like I feel like Daniel
Yeah.
Kaluuya was a very showy performance,
It
but we
was,
didn't
yeah.
really. Do we have? I mean, Anthony Hopkins kind of,
He
but it's
was
also a very
he
subdued. So
had
we
showy
didn't have.
moments.
Yeah, I mean, look at Viola Davis. She was very showy. So we had
Yeah.
some showy performances last year, and the nuanced ones were able to overtake them. So it's possible. I never doubt on Coleman. I mean, she's
Their
terrific.
films were also last year in picture. Well, hers is
Yeah,
not.
yeah. That's the other thing too. Is like we're dealing with, you know, we're going to talk about House of Gucci too, but we're talking generally about maybe non-best picture contenders, which doesn't help you, um,
Yeah.
as it did not help Ma Rainey last year. Very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so now male actor in a leading role. We've got Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom, Will Smith, King Richard, Denzel Washington, Tragic Macbeth. I mean, Bardem's the only surprise here. I kind of saw it as a possibility because I did think they would really like Being the Ricardos as actors. Probably would tend to like that movie, even though I do not. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's too surprising. He obviously took Dinklage's spot. Um, I don't know. I don't. I think this is the other one where everyone besides Bardem will carry over to the Oscars. I don't think he is. I would say Dinklage will probably still get the Oscar spot.
I don't know about that because I don't think Cyrano was not shortlisted for Best Original Song, which
No.
was, I think, shocking. Like that
Yeah.
needed to get shortlisted for
Or
original
score.
song. And so I don't know. It would have to pull off a 1917-esque. We release late, therefore we captured this zeitgeist to get us nominated. But nobody's going to go to the theaters to see Cyrano. They're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hopefully they go see Scream this weekend because I'm a fan of those movies. But they're going to, Spider-Man, and that's it. Like they're not going to go out and see Cyrano. So, I mean, I don't think Dick Lynch is not a Willem Dafoe where he's never been nominated for an Oscar. I don't think a movie like this will get him there on his own. So I might go with Bardem because they often like to just give it to one movie. Look at when in 2019 we saw Joker with 11 noms, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, and 1917 get 10. Like they usually they just repeat noms for movies. Mm-hmm. And Bardem, listen, I thought he was the best in that movie. And he gets a lot of great scenes, and I don't understand if you're going to give Nicole Kidman a nomination. I think Bardem should go along with that, because it's definitely a two-hander. So this might be my 5 for the Oscars, and I'll bump out Mr. Tyrion Lannister out of my list.
I just have doubts because I forget how many years, but it's been a while since there was a whole roster of actors and Best Actor nominated who have all been nominated before. There's usually at least one person who's a first-time nominee. And if Bardem takes Dinklage's spot, we will have all Oscar nominees there. So I have doubts, but I could see it happening, I guess.
It's not uncommon. We saw it in, I believe, 2012, where we had Robert De Niro for Silver Linings Playbook, Alan Arkin for Argo. I think there were a couple others, but that was definitely a year where
that was supporting actor too. Also,
that was supporting actor. I think Tommy Lee Jones for Lincoln was another one, but still, it's not. I don't think it's necessarily uncommon. Like I wouldn't be surprised
it's just rare.
If that was the case. It's rare, but it's not rare because they have like a prejudice against repeat nominations for actors.
No, it's just a trend.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's actor. I still think we'll get to the Globes. I think it's probably Will Smith's to lose come the Oscars.
We shall, yeah, probably.
The BAFTAs think that will have a big impact.
Yeah, because we don't have any major British, like we don't have an Anthony Hopkins out of this lineup, do we?
We have Benedict, who's British, and
then
Andrew Garfield also.
Then I always forget Andrew Garfield's British.
Yeah,
I forget they're both British
so well.
So many American accents.
Yeah.
Then watch out for them. I'm not buying into the Will Smith thing. There are so many feel-good movies. Some of them have to fall. Granted, King Richard getting that ensemble nom today doesn't look like it is falling, but we got a couple months till the ceremony.
We do. Yeah.
We'll see. I'm still doubting. I think BAFTA will not go his way.
No, I don't even know if he'll get nominated.
So we'll see, because I think SAG, when we looked at the Glenn Close trajectory, that was somebody who she was getting in for herself, not the movie, which I think is probably, I know people love the movie, but I think more people, the reason why he's in contention to win is because they want to give Will Smith an Oscar. If Will Smith won for Ali, then I don't think he would be at the front runner.
No, he wouldn't.
So if, let's say, he won the Globe and he wins SAG, but if Benedict or Andrew Garfield, and I would probably lean Benedict because Power of the Dog is a stronger contender, and he wins BAFTA, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're talking about Hopkins we're talking about, and that would be another scenario of a white actor white British actor coming in against, a black actor, which, we saw with Hopkins versus Boseman, we saw with Tobias Menzies versus Michael K. Williams at the Emmys. That seems to be an unfortunate tradition that recent Oscars have been doing. So we'll see. Will Smith is my most finicky. I don't feel the same confidence in him that a lot of people seem to have, especially so early.
Yeah, I don't have I think there's only one person who I would say is a front runner in the acting, and that would definitely be Ariana DeBose. I don't think anyone's going to stop her. Everyone else, I would say, is up in the air currently. I would lean towards Will Smith as being the front or as being my number one here. I don't think it's close at all. I think it's a three-way race between Smith, Cumberbatch, and I do think Garfield still has a chance.
Yeah, I definitely think Garfield has a chance. I think he's so beloved and so charming. He helped. If Chastain gets in for Tammy Faye, then possibly people will then see his great work in Eyes of Tammy Faye. Of
Mhm.
course, he's very
Everyone's
successful.
seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
No way home.
So yeah, I don't. I definitely think that it's a three-horse race, and I can't
Yeah.
call it yet. I don't think there is a front runner in actor. I think that category is the most competitive. Even if I think actress, I don't know what
I
the
have no clue.
I have no clue. So it is competitive, but I don't feel it as like it's so close between the men in that
It
category.
is. I feel like actress this year could kind of go like it was last year, where like a different person wins at each thing. It's just up in the
Yeah,
air,
yeah.
which is always fun. Um, okay, so now ensemble, cast in a motion picture. We have Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, King Richard, and House of Gucci made it in. Gucci Gucci. I mean, I saw this as a possibility. I was hoping it didn't happen, but there were reports of the people in the SAG screenings of House of Gucci really liked the movie. Got two of the main performers in here, so I mean, shouldn't be super surprised. There's usually one of at least movie nominated each year in ensemble that doesn't get nominated for picture. I'm not sure here. I may have to add Gucci back to my picture predictions. I haven't yet, but I don't know. That 10th spot's very open.
Well, that's the thing. We're dealing with 10 slots this year. In years
Yeah.
past, they've missed because they didn't have 10 slots. Like,
Yeah.
the year that Crazy Rich Asians missed was the year that there were only, I think, 8 nominees in
Hmm.
2018.
Yeah.
So who knows? Crazy Rich Asians could have been a ninth or 10th nomination, and I would not have been surprised if that happened. So that's the thing. That 10th spot has been eluding, I think that's the word, or has been elusive um,
Yeah.
for so long. I was kind of thinking Lost Daughter was going to take it because Olivia Colman has a lot of heat, and the movie's been showing up on the indie circuit. But the more I think about it, the more that makes me feel that Olivia Colman, speaking of Willem Dafoe, Olivia Colman's going to be the Willem Dafoe, where she's able to stand alone and the rest of her movie won't.
Yeah.
Maybe a screenplay nomination for Maggie Gyllenhaal. And maybe House of Gucci does get in. I mean, House of Gucci definitely feels of the Bohemian Rhapsodies,
Mhm.
the movies that are very divisive, that have low RT scores, but people just turn them on. If people keep watching Gucci because they find it entertaining, then yeah, it'll get nominated because people are watching it, and that's all it takes. You just need to be
Yeah.
watched and well liked. You don't need to be loved. You need to be well liked, and that's it.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I think it's possible. I also had The Lost Daughter as my number 10 for a little bit, but then I saw the audience response to it was almost Spencer-esque, very divisive.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think it's going to get that spot. I probably House of Gucci. I mean, people are also talking about like Spider-Man and Drive My Car. I don't think Spider-Man's going to happen. Um, I don't
Who
think
knows with Tom Holland now maybe being
potentially
courted
hosting.
to post,
That's how they'll get the Spider-Man audience, though. Imagine if they had all
which
three
they're
hosts.
not gonna get. Like, I love that
No.
the Oscars think that if we just get somebody to host, then that's gonna make people want to tune in. What, to see the jokes they're gonna tell? Like, that doesn't interest people.
No.
Like, these are people that
It's not a
like
stand-up show.
him for the yeah, unless he promises that he's gonna do round two of his umbrella dance. That's the only thing
Yeah,
that will
I would
get
get
people
people.
to tune
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
That's what he's got to. That's got to be his opening number. He's got an opening number, all of the Best Picture nominees, but do it like the Umbrella Dance. That's how
Yeah.
you get viewers.
That
You listen to
that is,
Academy.
yeah. That's the opening number.
That's the
Um,
opening number. Oh God.
Definitely. Good way to start. Yeah. So I don't know. I also don't think Drive My Car is getting in either, just because it's foreign and it's 3 hours long. Um, so yeah, it's
It
up in
has
the
been
air.
overperforming though, and I think that helps because
It
it
is.
has emerged as the movie. Usually you get like one or two movies that like it's I forget where I heard this, but somebody was like, oh, it's the foreign language movie that we have to watch this year. It's like the one.
Yeah.
It's like the one documentary that we get to have to watch this year, and that feels like the one. It's the one that people keep bringing up, and probably deservedly so. It seems like a very
Probably
great
going to
film.
win foreign film. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe. I mean, never, especially because, again, we're dealing with 10 slots, and we're dealing with 10 slots with a very different academy than the last time they had to fill 10 slots. So I think we're used to talking about what gets in for Best Picture when we would only have to, like, clear the certain percentage. But now that they have to fill 10, that could open up a different scenario, and Drive My Car could get in because it gets in a way that it wouldn't have in the past.
Yeah, I think this year in particular, I feel like they picked a bad year to do 10. A lot of divisive movies in particular this year, more than most years. I feel like last year, they could have easily filled 10 last year, same as 2019. This year, I think it's
2019, they could have filled like 15.
easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Full of so many good films.
But I think that's also because when you look at, like, a lot of these are 2020 holdovers, and 2020, like the little intimate independent like darlings, like those were able to release. Like, imagine if we had Nomadland, Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, Minari, like that would have been up, like that would have taken out your House of Gucci's, your Don't Look Ups. It would have taken out these more divisive movies. The reason why we have divisive movies in here is because we need to fill the category, and Academy members don't have the attention span past a month and a half to remember, like, Pig, for example, which I think
so good.
Yeah, it's great. Or, we talked about Titan, that's a great film.
In the Heights.
In the Heights. Like, I honestly don't understand, like, where is Tick Tick Boom's, like, Robin DeJesus in supporting actor?
They're doing supporting actors so wrong this year. There's so many good performances that just aren't. Alex Wolff in Pig, speaking of Pig.
Alex Wolff is in Pig. Yeah, Vincent Linden in Titan. Like, there's a lot of great supporting performances, but they're not the performances that people keep hearing about they're
not seeing the movies,
the news, and they're not seeing the movies, which it's crazy. It's crazy this year, but I'm sure it'll be an interesting show regardless. But I'm interested, what do you think is the front runner in Best Ensemble?
To win, I would say not House of Gucci, not King Richard. I don't think. Maybe Coda. I think Don't Look Up is too divisive.
I think it's between Coda and Belfast.
Yeah. I would say they liked Coda more here based on the nominations. They didn't nominate the two Belfast boys.
Yeah. If Marley Matlin got in, then I would have definitely felt like, all right, Coda's winning. But even then, like, Parasite didn't have any isolated performances, and that was able to win. And I could see them giving it to Coda in a very similar way that they gave it to Parasite, with the SAG, like they gave it to Black Panther, they gave it to Parasite. They sometimes they gave it to Hidden Figures. Like, they sometimes like to give Best Ensemble to the most, like, ethically and morally correct ensemble. Like, it which represents an ensemble. Which would be Coda. Like, Belfast, I feel,
or King Richard.
Or King Richard. I feel like Belfast would be like a Trial of the Chicago 7 win, where it's just like, we like the actors and we're going to get in. But I don't know. I feel like Coda seems like the type of movie that would probably get in. It's funny enough. It seems like the type of movie that gets this award and then people think is going to win Best Picture, and then it doesn't. I don't know why. It just feels like it has that trajectory. So I may lean Coda. As for the other ones, we've mentioned, I probably Will Smith, following the Glenn Close trajectory.
Probably. I do think actors really like Andrew Garfield's performance, so I would say watch out for him more so than Cumberbatch here. Yeah,
I agree. And then we talked about Nicole Kidman's. The thing with, I don't know if Olivia Colman has ever won for playing the Queen for The Crown.
Don't know. Yeah.
Because she did not.
I don't think she has one.
She did not win for The Favorite. So
she did not. No.
They may feel like, and she didn't win for The Father. So they may feel like, we owe it to you. We've passed you up before.
Maybe, yeah.
and she wins for The Lost Daughter. I could see Jessica Chastain winning. I do think those are
Hmm.
your three here. And those are the three that I think could win. Unfortunately, even if Stewart were here, I don't think she's
No,
going
no,
to win.
not the kind of performance I think they would. I think Gaga probably has a shot too, just because I mean the movie was in ensemble. Jared Leto got nominated. They clearly seem to like the movie, so
And that, it's funny to think that Gaga is like, an underdog. But
mhm.
I bet you some people maybe feel that, Lady Gaga, we loved you in A Star is Born. We didn't give it to you for that. Now we'll give it to you for this. Like in a similar situation with Jimmy Stewart back, nearly 80 years ago when he
Mhm.
didn't win for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And so the next year he comes with Philadelphia Story, which is, I think, not an argument. It's not as great a performance.
Yeah,
It's not as iconic or, nothing wrong with the performance at all, but it's not the type of one that you would have expected him to win, especially when you put the two performances
yeah,
next to each other. And maybe that's what Hasakuchi is for Lady Gaga. It's her Philadelphia Story. I
yeah,
could see that happening. It's
yeah,
funny how I have a narrative for everybody but Kristen Stewart.
yeah. I just don't see the narrative for her. I don't think she's going to win the BAFTA. I think that's
No,
definitely Coleman's. I just
especially because I think I feel like a lot of people will be protective of Diana in the
yeah,
British.
and I think like the princes are like part of the BAFTA's like head, like
Yeah,
heads
they're
of
not
it.
going to give it. She might not even get nominated because of that. They may feel
Yeah,
like, they don't want to touch that with like a 10-foot pole.
yeah, yeah. They did snub a lot of people last year.
Yeah, which
Um,
is unfortunate. It's a great performance.
yeah, yeah. I do think she kind of probably has a Carrie Mulligan route this year. Probably just going to win the Critics' Choice, and that's it.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, don't Coleman could
Yeah,
win that. This is the same Critics' Choice that nominated Jared Leto. So, you know,
yeah.
the crit
I'm
some
still
critics
surprised
may,
by that.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of supporting actor, I think
Here,
it's McPhee.
uh, I don't know. I don't feel it. I mean, he has been sweeping everything.
But do you feel
Um,
anything? Do you feel anything in this category specifically?
no, not really. I mean, the only other person would really be Troy Kotzer, I guess. Um, yeah, I guess I'd go with him
Yeah.
just because I don't feel the Cody Smith McPhee buzz personally. So I would go with
Yeah, I
him.
mean, yeah. My thing with Troy Kotzer was just he has like it's one scene. It would be the
It is,
scene
yeah.
on the back of the truck. That's the scene that he would be winning for. Which, granted, I don't know if Cody Smith McPhee has a scene.
He
Um,
doesn't know.
he's great throughout, but he doesn't have that isolated Oscar moment. But I still am apprehensive. I think Power of the Dog is, I think, a bigger contender overall than Coda is. I think Coda is getting in because it's a feel good and people like it, but I don't think it'll ever become a top 5 contender for Best Picture. And so, and he's not like if Paul Raci couldn't do it, then I don't think Troy Kotzer is going to do it. Frankly,
Yeah, I think the competition. I mean, Paul Raci had Daniel Kaluuya that year, which I think is a much better performance than anything here.
yeah. But like
But
Sound of Metal was such, in my opinion, again, disagree in the comments if you like. I found Sound of Metal to be a much better film, and it was a bigger
yeah,
Oscar contender, and it won other Oscars. Like if Troy Kotzer doesn't win at the Oscars, then that's it. That's its only chance, which I think
yeah,
doesn't help because he's not somebody who I think can pull it off by himself. If I would have to see Marlee Matlin nominated in supporting actress to feel all right, there's love for this film overall. It's not just
mhm,
we need to fill the category of Best Picture and supporting actor because that's where Code is getting in. Code is getting in where we need to fill the category. It's not getting
yeah,
in competitive categories like supporting actress, which I think is telling.
yeah,
Um, and then
yeah.
supporting actress out. Now I'm interested. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story is
The
nowhere else in
screener
the list.
issues. Yeah, I feel like by
So
the time they vote, they will have seen the movie. So I think she's probably still gonna win.
yeah, I still think that we should not be surprised by Kirsten Dunst. I think she could become the Yu Jung Yoon of like, she's well respected. It's a smaller performance. And I speak especially with Kirsten Dunst. People love Kirsten Dunst, and they think that
Hmm.
this may be the time to honor her. So
Yeah, I would.
I'm not gonna let go of Kirsten Dunst, even though Ariana DeBose is probably gonna win. But
I would
still,
probably have Ruth Nega actually as my number 2 here. That seems like more of a That seems like a performance that actors in particular would really like. I think more so than Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst disappears for a lot of the movie.
Yeah, she's
Um,
not in the second half, which doesn't help necessarily, but that means that if you're watching the movie, you get her at the front.
you
So
do, yeah,
um,
it's true.
it's interesting. It's interesting with supporting actress. I mean, this is the category that gave it to Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place. So
They did, yeah.
anything can happen.
Regina King wasn't an option that year. Yeah,
Yes, but it's still it's such a different performance than Regina King that I'm wondering if like Regina King would have gotten it even if she was nominated because they went in such a different direction. But maybe that was
they
because
did.
Regina King wasn't there.
Yeah,
And poor Amy Adams couldn't, Liz Cheney was it? I think it was Liz Cheney. That was who she
yeah,
was playing. And couldn't. I think I can't remember the daughter versus the wife's name, but Liz Cheney couldn't pull it off. Or and
yeah,
then the favorite girls canceled each other out. That's probably what
yeah.
happened.
I'm glad it was Emily Blunt. She deserved something that year.
Yeah, she was great.
Um,
I not she for me that year was similar to Scarlett Johansson in 2019, where I'm like,
yeah,
they had such a great year. Like
give him
sometimes I'm
something.
like, give them a little something. Even the
Yeah,
nomination for just a great year where you put in multiple performances because you can't nominate. At least at the Oscars, I know you can't nominate a single actor twice in the same category.
yeah,
Um, so,
yeah,
which wouldn't have happened with Emily Blunt because Mary Poppins was in
yeah,
lead still.
yeah. And then quickly, stunt ensemble. They actually nothing too surprising this year. Nothing insane. No,
All of them had action.
Belfast. Yeah, Black Widow,
Belfast. When
Dune.
you said that, I was just like, that is such a
Yeah,
SAG move.
it is because there's like riots or whatever, and they broke glass one point or whatever. But who
It's
was
pretty
nominated?
convincing.
It's Black Widow, Dune, Matrix, No Time to Die, and Shang-Chi. I like all of those. I mean, nothing too surprising there. No West Side Story, which we were talking about because there's lots of dancing and choreography, but there was also a screener issue there. So, who do you think would
Yeah,
win? Dune?
mm, um, I think No Time to Die. It's the most
True.
traditional
It had better
contender.
stunts.
Like Dune's stunt work, you don't come away from Dune talking about the great action sequences.
No, no.
I think all of these other movies you do. Um,
Yeah, maybe not
and
Black Widow.
but still, Black Widow is I feel like is an action movie in your
It's
head.
known more. Yeah,
Like you don't think of Dune as an action movie. You think of the
no,
other four as action movies. So
you
that's
do.
where I'm
Yeah.
like Dune. I don't when you're going down the ballot and they're not going to watch these movies to judge their action stunt choreography for
No,
the
but I
vote.
feel like they've definitely seen Dune because that's the one that's going for Best Picture.
That's true, but No Time to Die made a
They've
lot
also
more
seen that
money than
probably.
Dune.
It did. Yeah.
Um, so and is the I think is the most it's the highest grossing movie in this category.
It is. Yes.
Um, granted, Black Widow had premiere access, and I think they talked about like it lost like a whopping amount of
A
money
lot. Like I
due to
think
piracy.
150 million.
Yeah, so maybe Black Widow has been the most.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I still think No Time to Die is the most traditional. When you're going down the list, you think of like a lot of the great stunt work, and something about No Time to Die. There's so many like of those long shots, like the one following Daniel Craig up the
Yeah.
stairs. It takes a great craft to achieve that. So in my own world, I would think it was deserving of this, and I would probably give it the win. And
Yeah.
I think
I agree with that. And it's the Craig's last film, so
yeah,
might as well honor it.
it's very deserved.
So that's the SAG. Lots of craziness there. Not as much craziness, surprisingly, over at the Golden Globes this past weekend, where we had a bit of a Power of the Dog sweep, getting right into it. So motion picture drama, Power of the Dog won over King Richard, Dune, Coda, and Belfast. We were talking about this last week during our predictions. It would be the Nomadland-esque win, and it kind of took a Nomadland route here. So I guess maybe not extremely surprising. I would say it's probably between Belfast, Power of the Dog, and I also thought Dune had a chance. So what did you think of this Power of the Dog sweep?
I was a little surprised, just because it didn't seem like the type of movie that they would go for necessarily.
Yeah.
But they did. I'm happy they did. I love this film. And yeah, I think we could see a world where when this happened, even though the Golden Globes don't have this much power over the award season, but when it happened, I was like, maybe it does win Best Picture. Maybe.
Do you think
I
it's the
think
number one?
Campion. Yeah, maybe. I think Campion's, by the way, a lock now for Best Director.
Absolutely,
Um,
yeah.
I think,
Chase
the enthusiasm for West Side Story really fell away with the box office, which is what we've been talking about. It's just, you need excitement, I think, and that movie just didn't
hmm
have the same excitement. Um, and so, yeah, I think I what were it won for? What's the fourth one? It was McPhee,
Cody Smith McPhee. Um, it did win something else,
director.
didn't it?
Did it
Director,
win
picture.
screenplay? No.
It did not know. I think it only won three then.
Okay. Now I feel like
Yeah.
four it did win. I don't know why. I feel like four sounds correct. So let me do a quick Google search. Um,
The other technical stuff it did. They only really do screenplay. So yeah, it won three.
Won three. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's not a ton of categories anyway.
Golden Globes. Yeah, three. Okay. Yes, four sounded correct. I don't know why.
Close.
But so yeah, and then overall, expected winners. I don't think a lot of surprises except for Cody Smith McPhee. I think he was a surprise, but that category was, I think, due for a surprise.
hmm
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, overall, pretty. Their Twitter page is the most exciting part when they're
Yeah.
saying like, "Do you need a laugh? Then look to Best Musical
Watch
or
West
Comedy
Side
winner,
Story.
West Side Story."
Laughter is the medicine. Oh God.
Oh, Golden
Um,
Globe.
yeah, West Side Story won musical or comedy, which was expected. I'd have that as my two or three for picture now. Probably behind
It's
Power of the
dropping
Dog.
though. It's
It
dropping.
is. I feel like Belfast is dropping too, though. So I feel like they're around the same. Belfast hasn't won
I
much
don't.
lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I just out of the feel goods, I think it's the strongest.
It is,
Out of
yes.
Coda, King Richard, and that, I still think Belfast is the strongest. Maybe because
It
it's in
is.
black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel like a feel good year to me, though, at least right now, based off of the
It's
current
definitely not a
stuff.
feel good year
Not in real life
outside of the
either.
Academy,
Yeah.
but I mean, maybe. I mean, what's your one? Is your one Power of the Dog?
It's now Power of the Dog. Yeah. It used to be West Side Story. But
Yeah,
I feel like this cemented Power of the Dog for me.
yeah, because I can't see. You talked about like Cody Smith McPhee. You can't picture it.
Yeah.
I can picture Belfast. I can picture Power of the Dog. I can't picture anything else.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that
really
makes
can't.
sense.
I can't, especially because when I went to California for a vacation a couple years ago when I was college scouting. Um, if you go to the Dolby Theater, they have like a pillars of all of the winners of Best Picture in the year they won. So you see
Yeah.
like 2016 Moonlight, 2015 Spotlight, and I always think about that, like what movie is going to go on there, and I can't think of any movie that I see getting put up there that's not Belfast Power of the Dog in terms of the likelihood of it making to that pillar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
that's
could
what I
see.
have to
Yeah.
see, not necessarily them on stage. I have to see the name amongst like other like The Godfather and
Yeah. Yeah.
Kramer versus
Other big
Kramer and those
ones.
other Best Picture movies.
Yeah. Will Smith won actor. I think this is I think that was pretty expected. Kind of a Globes.
Yeah,
Actress was the surprise here, where Nicole Kidman won for the Globes. We already kind of talked about it, but I mean, it's the Globes do absolutely love Nicole Kidman. I think this is like her fifth win. So I still think it's more of a Globes thing than it is going to be like an overall race thing. But it's possible. It's definitely possible.
we'll see. A two-time Academy Award winner Nicole Kidman does kind of
He
seem like it
deserves to. I just don't know if it's
exists.
for this of all
Yeah,
things.
well, there's a lot of people who win
People
for
don't win for their
performances.
best stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
See DiCaprio, comma Leo as example of winning for
yeah,
the wrong roles. So
yes,
yeah,
definitely. Speaking of which, actor in musical or comedy, Andrew Garfield, that was expected.
great performance.
Just very deserving. Actress in musical or comedy, Rachel Zegler beat Alana Haim. I don't think anyone else was really in contention there per se. But
Yeah,
yeah, good for
Alana,
her.
along with Licorice Pizza, is falling. Unfortunately, I
It
don't think a
is.
lot of people are watching the film. It doesn't seem like a high priority screener. Um, yeah, unfortunately, it's a great film. It's very funny, and she gives a great performance. But yeah,
Yeah,
obviously, I think when it came to the HFPA, they were watching West Side Story more. It was definitely more up their alley,
yeah,
and I was thinking Jennifer Lawrence maybe if they really like
Oh
Don't
yeah,
Look
yeah.
Up, but it didn't seem like they like Don't Look Up enough to give
No,
it.
no, they did not. Do you think Licorice Pizza is really just picture, director, screenplay? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Not maybe not even for director at this
Maybe
point.
not. He's number five, definitely.
Yeah. And honestly, like, yeah, it probably gets in for picture, but it feels like it could be just a
With 10
screenplay.
spots. Yeah.
Still, like, think about it. Like, House of Gucci could get in, Lost Daughter could get in. Like,
I feel
I
like
could
those
see a
two,
world where it
Licorice
only
Pizza
gets
is
screenplay. I'm just
much less
saying.
divisive than those two, though. I feel like it's at least like a spotlight kind of thing where the only thing you're nominated outside of picture is, oh, well, there's nominated for
Well,
actors
no,
too.
they only won screenplay
Yeah.
picture. Spotlight had, I think, 6 nominations.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
the thing with being divisive is you're in the conversation. People are talking about you. I don't see anybody talking about Licorice Pizza at all, which is
No.
unfortunate. So we'll see. Because I can't necessarily say that it won't get in, but a movie like The Lost Daughter, which isn't getting a lot of attention. But granted, it's on Netflix, which means people are seeing it. People are watching The Lost Daughter. They're not
Hmm.
going to theaters to see Licorice Pizza. I mean,
Licorice Pizza is the most successful limited release of the whole year. So I think people are
true,
seeing it
true.
where it's available.
I could definitely, if let's say Licorice Pizza doesn't get in, then I could definitely see that it goes into the Nightmare Alley camp of it opened in theaters, not a lot of people saw it, and it was it was one of those movies. Again, I don't want it to happen, but I'm just saying that move, as you're saying, like, is it really only going to get 3 nominations, and those 3 nominations are the big nominations? Like, that seems odd to me that a movie would only get picture, director, and screenplay and nothing else. That would
Yeah, I
shock
mean,
me. I feel like, yeah,
like King Richard's probably only getting like picture, supporting actress, and actor, really. Maybe screenplay. Probably screenplay. But I mean, that's only one difference there.
yeah, but still, like, look at something like Get Out. Like, Get Out got picture, director, screenplay, and then actor. Like, that
Actor.
actor goes a long way because it means we like more than one part of the movie. We like more than just what Jordan Peele brought to the table, which is how you get Best Picture. Because
Hmm.
if you're giving Paul Thomas Anderson Best Screenplay, then what's the
I don't
point of
think he's
giving him
winning
the other
screenplay.
two? No, like, if you're giving him the nomination for Best
Oh,
Screenplay,
yeah.
then what? And you're not going to give a nomination to any other aspect of the movie, then why is it Best Picture worthy in the eyes of the Academy? Like, you obviously only like it for its screenplay. Like, picture is supposed to be overall. What's overall of all the components working together? So that's why, as you say it, like, Licorice Pizza just is not in the conversation. House of Gucci
Yeah.
continues to be in the conversation.
Kind of, not really, honestly. I think we're also in a year of 10. I mean, in previous years of 10, there were only like two or three, but I mean, Toy Story 4 was only nominated in picture and animated feature. I mean, so I
Yeah,
think,
it's animated. It's different. Again, I'm
yeah,
not. As I am here right now, I still think it's going to get nominated. But the more the movie, like, Licorice Pizza didn't get an ensemble nomination for SAG. I feel like that
no,
could have
that
definitely
that's a
gotten us
two.
an ensemble nom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really
no,
only two people.
you had Cooper Hoffman and Alana Haim as your leads, but you have a lot of people who come in throughout that movie and contribute. You have Benny Safdie and Sean Penn
Hmm.
and Bradley Cooper. And so, like, the fact that the movie, like, that seems like the type of ensemble that you
Is
give
it
a
really an
nomination.
ensemble though? I feel like ensemble is like you have to have like scenes together and work together. And I feel like that's more of like cameos and like
I
an
mean,
ensemble
Moonlight
setting.
wasn't that way. Everybody was in their own sections.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a much bigger contender overall though.
well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I think that I could have seen that getting an ensemble nomination, where the fact that Bradley Cooper is the only one that gets in reeks of we need to fill the category, and he's a name we know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
I'm very apprehensive about Licorice Pizza going forward. As you said, I don't think it is. I think it every week it loses another potential category.
yeah, definitely. Director Jane Campion, as we said, she is. I thought Denis Villeneuve and Spielberg still had a chance, but she's going to be a sweeper.
Yes,
Good for her.
Spielberg
She did a really
tends
good
to
job.
do this. He tends to mirage, like he miraged
Yeah,
with
he just
Lincoln.
scares people and then he backs up.
Yeah.
Gonna take your
And
Oscar.
listen, it'll be great, and it should be noted. It'll be the first time that two women win back to back.
Yeah,
So that's exciting.
yeah.
Um, and it's deserving, very deserving. And I feel like for most people, probably even more than Catherine Bigelow, she's the most well-known female director. Um,
I
so
don't know.
I think
I
she's
would say people like Greta Gerwig probably are more
well
known.
recently, but I mean, you go back 20 years, she was
All
like
time,
the
yeah. Yeah.
female director.
She'll be
So
the
I
first
think,
woman to have won two Oscars too. She also won
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Not
So
woman in general, but director.
she didn't win Best Director.
No, she won for screenplay.
Yeah, she won for Screenplay because I was like, because it was Catherine Bigelow, Chloe Zhao, and now it'll be Jane Campion.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it'll be another great win. And yeah, I think it's deserving.
Yeah. Supporting actor was Cody Smith-McPhee. We've already talked about him plenty. We'll have to see how that goes. Supporting actress Ariana Bose is the frontrunner, as expected. And screenplay was Belfast, which is interesting. I guess that was their place to honor it. So yeah.
Which is Belfast in the same category as Licorice Pizza?
Yeah, I believe not.
Is it an adapted or original?
Belfast is original.
I
I
think
don't know.
Belfast is an original with Licorice Pizza and Don't Look Up, and adapted is Lost Daughter and Power of the Dog. Because I'm just saying, as
Yeah,
again,
I think they are
as we
just
just
gonna.
have a Licorice Pizza, look out because Belfast may take that. This may be where they give it to Belfast and Brana.
Yeah, Belfast and Licorice Pizza are both original. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this may be where they give Belfast the attention they want to give it, and
Yeah, I do think this could be kind of like a trial win here, where it does win and ends up losing at the Oscars. But there's not anything in competition that was as strong as Promising Young Woman. So I
and
do think.
Promising Young Woman, it released digitally in January, so it was people discovered that later in the season, and it was an exciting script like Get Out was. I don't
Yeah.
like Licorice Pizza. Paul Thomas Anderson, people know him. They know what to
Mm-hmm.
expect from him. There isn't like a rush like to award a new creative force like Emerald Fennell or Jordan Peele. So
Yeah.
that's my only thing. Yet again, I don't think, does Paul Thomas Anderson have an Oscar?
He does not know.
Does Kenneth Branagh have an Oscar?
I don't think so. He's been nominated for plenty. I don't think
I
he's
think
won
he's
for
been
acting.
nominated, but I'm not sure he's won. So I
I
feel
don't
like
think so.
if they're both not been given an award, you go with the one that I think is more well received and well loved
Yeah.
within the Academy, and that's Belfast. So
Definitely.
and Kenneth Branagh is just we'll see. Maybe Death on the Nile is like a Pluto Nash situation where it just sinks.
Yeah.
No pun intended. It sinks that his chance to actually perform at the Oscars the same way that Pluto Nash sunk Eddie Murphy winning Best Supporting Actor for
The
DreamWorks.
355 gonna sink Jessica Chastain.
I was worried about that. See, the thing
I
is,
don't think so.
nobody knows about that movie. So
Yeah, no.
like it didn't register. Like people probably forget about it. Death on the Nile is a big deal.
It is.
And it stars a lot of people that will get it trending on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Lots of problematic people there. Yeah. So that's the Golden Globes. Nothing too insane. No, not the level of SAG insanity. Okay. Speaking, some people did acknowledge them this year. Not everyone did, but some people did. So they're not completely dead. I think they probably will rise again, but with less importance than before.
Oh, they'll definitely rise. This happened before where there was a big controversy with the Golden Globes because it was some guy flew out the entire HFPA to like see his wife perform in a Vegas show, and then she won Best Newcomer. And so when that happened and that was revealed, they went away for a couple of years and then they came back. They'll come back. Just this isn't the end of it. Nothing. When the apocalypse happens, there will be cockroaches in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Yeah, definitely. They live forever. Okay, so next up, the Oscars have said there will be a host this year, unlike the past, 2 or 3 years.
2018, so the 2019 ceremony,
the past
the one
three ceremonies.
One.
Yeah. And they also apparently have reached out to Tom Holland, who previously said he would be willing to host the Oscars. So that seems like they both agree here, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the right career move for Tom Holland. I feel like that's a lose-lose kind of situation, hosting the Oscars.
Yeah, hosting the Oscars is definitely a lose-lose because you're guaranteed lowest Oscars ratings in history. So who wants that?
Well, they'll probably
Um,
be up this year just because last year was
I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's going
I
to
would
continue
hope.
to drop because I wonder how many people tuned in because they wanted to see Chadwick win. Like that helped it
True,
at
true.
all. Um, because I don't like what you like.
Dune. I
Oh,
don't know.
we have to see the race between Power of the Dog and
Yeah,
Belfast. Like, is
no.
that's
People
not
don't
going
know
to
those
drive people
movies.
to check it out? Um, but yeah,
Will
listen,
Smith,
Tom
maybe.
Holland, he needs something. I think, especially when Uncharted probably underperforms. So maybe he does it.
Probably. It looks
He's
decent,
very
that
talented.
movie.
Looks decent, but
No,
nothing's
it's
I
not going
think
to
going
do
to be
well.
money.
No.
So I think, listen, he's a fine choice. I think he's very young, and it's not like he's known for his hosting. He would definitely
No.
be we want a name to appeal to young people to tune in.
Hmm.
But it's not the worst decision the Academy's ever made.
If they could get all three Spider-Man to host, then that would draw people in.
There you
They're
go.
not going to be
That's
able
what they
to
got
do
to
that.
do.
Andrew Garfield announcing his own winning um, Oscar would be fun. Um, yeah, I think having a host this year is fine as long as they're not like I don't need them coming in like after every commercial break with some sort of joke. Like introduce it and like pop in occasionally, but don't like be an overwhelming presence. And also play clips, play even more clips. They didn't have any last year. So return the
Yeah.
clips is all I will say.
And we need to get rid of the like there are so many like montages. Like we have montages about montages. And
Yeah.
I remember I was watching a show from a couple years ago where there was a critic named William Bibiani who was like, we're going to take the night that celebrates the greatness of the cinematic art form to give an ode to musical theater. Like, we don't need so many songs. I'm almost like, get all of the five nominees and tell them to do a medley. And there's one
Yeah.
performance. Like, I
Yeah.
would feel like do that. Like, I think we just need to change it up. Maybe a young host can do that, but I don't necessarily think it's going to I don't think it's going to get people to tune in. Maybe if you had the three Spider-Men, that probably
I
get
do
people to
think the
tune in.
songs this year more than most years will get some people to tune in. If you've got Ariana Grande, Beyonce, and Billie Eilish, I think you'll get some of the fans to tune in.
Maybe. But again, like how many people are just like, I'll watch it on Twitter the minute
True.
after it's done. Like that's I think the issue. As long as you can watch these shows and keep up to date with them on your phone without watching, you're never going to get people to tune in. Because the
No.
thing is, you can't promise them a La La Land Moonlight moment, which is what would get people to tune in. You know,
No, you can't do that. No. That's
that's the
just
issue.
wrong. Yeah.
Like people always talk about the Oscars and want to tune in after they're done because they have a Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins situation, but
Yeah.
you can't promise that at the outset, which means people are not going to tune in. Like if you had your whole Oscar like advertising money just to be come watch Glenn Close do the butt, then
I
maybe
enjoyed that. Yeah. That
that
was the
was a
best
lot
part
of
about it.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't think a host is how you get people to tune in. You have to like make people like
Yeah.
that's what.
I
Please watch,
enjoy
Glenn
I
Close do the
enjoy
butt.
that style too of like having different people throughout like take over the hosting duties, like
Mhm.
different people who are like good at it also. Like they did in that one year, like where I think it was Chris Rock and like Steve Martin opened it, and then like
Yeah,
what
that
was her
was
name,
the
Maya
first winning
Rudolph and
ceremony.
Kristen Wiig. Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah,
a
and
good
then
format. I think.
I still love the 2019 ceremony where Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, and Maya
Yeah.
Rudolph came out at the beginning after the Queen performance, and Tina Fey goes, "We are not your host, but we're going to stand up here a little
Yep.
too long so the people that
Yeah.
get USA Today tomorrow think that we hosted," and they
Yep.
pose like this.
Yeah. They would be good hosts, but yeah.
Hosts, they're great. They're the best hosts.
Yeah. I also, in terms of getting people to tune in, I think I've said this before, but like maybe have some exclusive trailers that will only air during that and then won't be online or something. That's hard to do. They'll probably be leaked online or something, but still, I'd probably
Yeah,
get some
given
people.
this past fall with Marvel movies, I don't think
Yeah.
stuff gets on
Imagine
there
if you had
real
like
quick.
the exclusive first trailer for like Thor 4 or something. I don't know. I mean, Disney owned it's ABC, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean they did that last year with West Side Story.
Yeah. And that's not as
First
big of a
trailer.
deal though, as we see. It flopped.
Yeah, but I think those, like, you're gonna have to turn the Oscars into Comic-Con to get like people to like, ooh, let's give an award to Cody Smith McPhee for his heart-wrenching, very
Yeah,
mysterious performance in Power of the Dog. Now check out the trailer for Top Gun Maverick. Like, it just doesn't. That's the issue. Is that a lot of these factors don't connect with each other.
they don't. Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, either appeal. I think they just need to stop trying to get people to tune in. Just appeal to
I
the people who
agree.
are going to watch your film fans,
Yeah. Like,
which they
I
kind of did
honestly
last year,
don't like,
aside from the Rock.
unless it takes a lot of money to put up the show, which, I don't know. I just feel like, just do the telecast, award your people. Because at this point you could just I get it, it has to be extravagant because like it's the Oscars and like it's supposed to mean something to this industry. But at some point it's just like, we're just giving each other statues. you know I
I
don't
still
see
think
the
there's
point
something
of.
special about everyone in your industry acknowledging your work. I feel like there's something special about that. At
But
least
like,
with
I don't
Best
think if it's that special, then why do we always distract from that act? Why do we spend time giving pizza to celebrities
I
and Girl
don't
Scout
know why.
cookies?
I
So
don't
I
know.
think we can send that away.
They
Um,
should. Yes.
yeah. So I'm
Agreed.
interested. We'll see how this goes. Maybe it's Kevin Hart. Maybe they give him the
Oh
host of.
God. I don't know if that would work out. Yeah. We'll have to see. Okay, so then the BAFTA released their 2022 long lists just a few hours ago. So for best film, they've got a lot long listed here. Okay. Got Being the Ricardos, Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Dune, House of Gucci, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, No Time to Die, The French Dispatch, The Lost Daughter, The Power of the Dog, Tragedy Macbeth, Tick Tick Boom, and West Side Story. I think we've got our top 9 all in there. And then that 10th spot will probably be taken by one of those movies.
Oh yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing getting a Best Picture nomination that's not on that list. No Time to Die
Yeah.
is surprising, but it's a British
I
film,
think that has a
so.
shot at number 10, honestly, at picture. Lots of people did see it. I think it'll get in a few tech categories. It's probably going to win song.
Again, as I said with Spider-Man and I said with this, the fact that Avengers Endgame and Skyfall couldn't get in respectively makes me doubt that these movies will this year. But never say never. As we've been saying, we're dealing with 10
Yeah.
nominees, so it could. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think like Skyfall was the year when they didn't do, like, it was the year after they stopped hitting 10. Like, that was the first
Yeah.
year they hit 9.
Mhm.
So yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Do you think Tragedy Macbeth has a shot?
No.
I mean, that hasn't even released yet. It seems a little too artsy.
That's an At Eternity's Gate, one nomination
Yeah.
for the lead actor, and that's it type of movie.
You don't think
Maybe,
cinematography?
maybe, but still, I doubt it. I think
Or
what you're
maybe
gonna get,
like
like,
Lighthouse.
yeah, but you're already having your black and white movie nominated with Belfast. So I don't know. It's a very hard sell,
What's going to
Shakespeare.
take its spot, though? Like, I
What,
don't think
Tragedy
Nightmare
Macbeth?
Alley. Yeah.
West Side Story, Dune, Belfast, The Power of the Dog, and one more. It's probably,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but I
I'd say
still think
Tragedy
that
Macbeth.
it could. That makes sense, but at the same time, I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't, because it's Shakespeare's a very
Yeah.
hard sell.
Yeah, true.
I
True,
mean,
true.
when Joker beats out Downton Abbey and Dolomite Is My Name for costumes, anything can
Yeah.
happen.
That's insane. And Rocket Man.
And Rocket Man, and I love you, Joker, but one costume. I mean, I don't care how good one costume is. One costume does not, like,
It's a good
supersede.
costume, but
Yeah. But that's my thing. That could be what happens, where they give it to a bland. I mean, Green Book got best film editing. So
didn't Trial get
there are
nominated for
these.
cinematography?
Which one?
Trial of Chicago 7?
I
I believe
think
it did.
so.
And that's one like ugly.
So, like, that's my
So
thing. Tragedy Macbeth would definitely be deserving of one, but it doesn't mean it's gonna get it.
yeah, true. True, true. And who do you think would win there? Probably a British film, right? Although they
What
do have
for
outstanding,
shortlist?
just for overall best film, they do have outstanding British film too. So
Did Nomadland win best picture last year?
I believe not. I don't know.
What one? Because that's gonna that's gonna
Let's
influence my pick.
see. BAFTAs. Um, let's see. So
I
Nomadland did win
mean,
best film last
What
year.
did
Nomadland. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very confident in picking Power of the
Power.
Dog.
Yeah, same.
Or
Same.
Belfast.
Maybe. That would be
It's
the
in the
trial
United
pick.
Kingdom, right? I think my
It
geography is
is.
correct. So
It's around. It's
maybe
in the Europe.
Belfast.
And then for best British film, where'd the list go? Outstanding British film. They've got Afterlove, Ali and Ava, Belfast, Benediction, Boiling Point, The Color Room, Cyrano, The Duke, The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne. Everybody's talking about Jamie. House of Gucci, The King's Man, Last Night in Soho, Mothering Sunday, Munich, The Edge of War, No Time to Die, Operation Mincemeat, Passing, and Spencer. Gotten somewhere. Yay, Spencer. That's Belfast, probably, right?
Yeah, I could see a world where Power of the Dog wins Best Picture and Belfast wins Best British Film.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Okay, and I think that's all that they long listed there.
I think
Um,
did they long list the
oh,
performances or no?
um, they did director, which was Afterlove, Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, First Cow. Oh, The Hand of God,
First
Happening.
Cow. Oh, I guess it
Yeah,
opened
I
this year.
guess. Yeah. King Richard, Licorice Pizza, The Lost Daughter, Passing, Petite Maman, Power of the Dog, The Souvenir Part 2, Tragic Macbeth, Teton, West Side Story, and Zola.
What's that for?
Pretty much everything. West Side Story and Zola.
No, what's category was that?
Oh, that was director.
Oh, director. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
We'll be happy that Mitchell's made it into their long list for animated,
Yes, that's good.
along with
Feels
Sing 2.
yeah, yeah. It feels like they're long listing pretty much everything that's in contention. Like looking over leading actress, I don't see anything snubbed here.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I don't see Kristen Stewart's in here. Thank goodness.
Thank God. Yeah.
Um,
Probably not gonna. Do you think she could be snubbed for the win or for the nomination? Like not even get nominated? Probably a chance.
ooh, that's interesting. Um, I would in another year, but given that, like, what Jennifer Lawrence is going to take her spot, or Rachel Zegler, like, I don't think that's going to happen because I think they're of the
Yeah.
same, position. Um,
hmm
I think,
Maybe Tessa
yeah, I
Thompson.
mean,
She's
I'm
British.
baffled by that. Honestly, I don't know why SAG didn't go with her and why they decided to go with Jennifer Hudson. That's a very surprising. I can't wrap my head around that one.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't possibly. I mean, anything's possible. I think it's more a Regina King situation, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking. I'm not seeing really anything left off overall here. Martha Plimpton not in supporting actress for Mass is rude, but I didn't really expect that.
And Dowd got in though, so Mass
She
fans.
did, yeah.
Um, yeah.
No Bradley Cooper. Oh wait, no, never mind. There he is in supporting actor. Yeah, they have pretty much everything. So
I mean, what do you have that long a
I
list?
think
Then
there's
sure.
yeah, their long list should be a little shorter, in my opinion. So I think that's pretty much it this week. Any last thoughts or predictions or anything?
Yeah. Just overall, I think I'm losing faith in Licorice Pizza. I'm gaining faith in Power of the Dog, and I still think that Belfast is holding stronger than people are thinking it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Power of the Dog has become my number one for picture. Jane Campion has become my number one for director. Still don't think Cody Smith McPhee is happening. I don't know. I'd still go with Troy Kotzer there. Ariana DeBose is sweeping.
Interesting. It's the fight between Troy Kotzer and Cody Smith McPhee. That is so interesting. Which means that it's probably not going to happen, and Jared Leto's going to win the category.
God, he better not even be nominated. If he's nominated, I will be upset.
I'll put some money on down. It's happening.
I don't know. Do you think Mike Face has a shot?
Nope.
I still feel like he has a shot.
I don't think so.
Him. I love him. He's so good.
We both do. He thinks he's great, but I don't think he's getting nominated.
Yeah, it's sad. Very sad. Yes, that's pretty much it. Comment all of your thoughts down below of the BAFTAs, the SAGs, the Golden Globes, all that stuff. Like the video, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we will see you all next week for even more fun stuff and to maybe do our own awards show at some point, probably next week.
when we announce that we're hosting the Oscars.
We are going to be hosting it, and we will.
Yeah.
The whole show will just be clips of everything.
But then they're
You
going
will
to
have
find
to see.
Jack's offensive tweets, and then we're going to get
Yeah,
canceled.
I did tweet that I hate Jared Leto, so no, I didn't actually tweet that. Yeah, okay. You also have to watch the restaurant scene in Pig. That will be one of the clips we show. Okay. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.
Hi, everyone.